Hey Illumineers, my name is Shaik and this is a new series called Budget Battle. It's no secret that a lot of fans can't get their hands on Lorcana products and thus aren't able to enjoy the game by entering competitive play. I aim to change that by testing out decks that cost no more than 40 to 50 bucks, which would be the price of 2 starter decks and some upgrades. So you will know what to take to your first tournament. Alright, this is the final version of the deck. For our future videos, I think we're going to do the same as we did now. The first video being the first draft of a deck, and then a second video with the final draft. I think this deck stands a chance against the meta decks, but it does depend on a few things, right? You have to have a good start. You can't make any mistakes, and you need to have a bit of luck. So before we get into the cards, I'd like to make you aware of something called hypergeometrics, and that's basically a way to calculate what the chances are for you to draw a specific card in your opening hand. There will be a link to a calculator in the description down below. And it's the reason why we're playing 10 1-drops. According to the calculator, if we input a deck of 60 cards, a 1-drop count of 10 cards, and a starting hand size of 10 cards, because on average we will send back 3 cards and draw 3 new cards, we will have a 86.4% chance of drawing a 1-drop. Which then helps with the getting a good start part. All right, let's get into the cards. So we are playing 4 Dukes and 4 Tips because I like the 2 power. And then we're rounding it off with the mini. So we have 10 1-drops for the good start. Then for the 2 drops, we are playing 4 Flynn because it's such a good card. Being able to quest for 2 and making your opponent discard when they challenge him. Then we have 2 Megs. The additional 2 power can help to get rid of problematic cards later in the game, as all our characters don't have that much power. We have 2 Gastons. The 4 power then helps to challenge cards like Cusco. And 4 Lefous, mostly to restand our high quest characters and keep them safe. But you can also do some nice things with restanding a bodyguard or a character of ours to either attack twice or to lure and then attack. For the 3 drops, we are playing 4 Cats, basically because of the same reason as Flynn. It's just a good aggro character and it takes a card with him when banished. Then we're playing 4 Jaspers to help disrupt our opponent, and the 4 health helps to take care of things like, or to get out of things like Tink, Swords combo, and cards like Smash. Then we have 4 Pans, as the evasiveness can help us steal games. On to the 4 drops, where we're playing 2 Hans, because it's so much pressure, right? A 4-drop that can quest for 3 and also has a 3/3 body. Really strong card, and it's also an inkable, but it also has a nice price tag on it, so that's why we're only playing 2 of those. Then we're playing 4 Tinks, again because of the evasiveness, and being able to give something evasive can help by either getting around a bodyguard or trade something into an evasive character, right? Rounding off the 4 drops with 2 Pongo, just because he's evasive. 2 more Hans would be better, but we do want to keep the deck budget. And for our 5 drops, we are playing 4 Hatters, basically the only way we have to refuel our hand, and it quests for 3. And then we're playing 4 Goofy, which has a good stat line and is evasive. Then finishing off our characters, we play 2 6-drop Genies, which can apply pressure and disrupt our opponent at the same time. Remember that you can also choose to return your own cards to your hand. I haven't used this myself, but it does set up some combos with LeFou and Meg, being able to either restand or buff another character respectively, right? So, finishing the deck, we have Dragonfire and Mother Knows Best. Apart from Genie, these are our only removal tools, hence we play 4 of each. Alright, now let's get into some gameplay. I'd like to keep one of these Dragon's Fire on hand and keep one Gaston so that we can have a choice. Unfortunately, we did not get our 3-drop, so we're just going to ink the Goofy as we have 2 of those and then play the Mini. Keeping the Dragonfire because we only have 8 removal spells, so I'd rather just have 1 on hand. There's our 3-drop, so that's nice. We're playing against Emerald, so I think we need to raise. So we're gonna ink the Gaston and then play the Flynn. And we can quest with the Mini. And then next turn we are probably going to ink the Goofy, play the Jasper. Alright, so we don't know what the other color is of our opponent yet. In this case, because we don't have a turn 4 play, we're probably going to want to play the Flynn. So then we'll ink the Goofy. And no, we're going to play the Jasper because the Jasper contests the Flynn. As we can prevent the Flynn from questing. And then next turn, on our 4th turn, we can either ink and play a Mother Knows Best. Opponent playing a lot of Emerald cards. And then we can like send the Jasper back to hand if we want to. Oh, another Mother Knows Best. Okay, so I think with this hand, because we have a lot of spells, and our opponent, well, we basically have the board, and I would like to keep the board. I think it's best to send his Jasper back to his hand. Or maybe just play the Flynn, have Jasper sing. Use these 2 to take. No, I do think we need to keep inking, which is important so that we can draw or play the cards that we draw. We're going to play the Mother Knows Best to remove the Jasper, so that we can try to get some momentum. Hitting into this Flynn, removing. Well, the Dragonfire then, because we can for sure play the Mother Knows Best next turn, right? But I was debating maybe it would have been better not to take that trade, as questing with the Jasper would lock the Flynn out anyways, right? So that might have been a misplay, but now we definitely have board. But we are losing on card advantage. Alright. Tinkerbell. This is a good card. I'm going to play this card and I'm going to have Jasper sing Mother Knows Best. There we go. So now we have lethal in 2 turns and our opponent needs to deal with our board. And he's playing Amethyst. Okay. The only thing I was scared of was if they were playing Ruby, right? And that they could then suddenly just be prepared. Or if they were playing Steel, they could also like wipe our board. But seeing this makes the choices that we made a lot better. So he needs to get rid of 2 cards, right? 2 of our characters. Don't know if he has the means to do that, but well, I think it's better to just play the tips instead of inking. That means that if he does get rid of our board and we don't draw or we draw a high cost minion, then we can't play it. But now he has to get rid of 3 of our characters. And that's game. All right, going first. We have our 1 drop. I like to keep Dragonfire in hand if we can, right? Choosing between Dragonfire and Mother Knows Best, I'd rather keep Dragonfire because it's a guaranteed removal. If that makes sense. Let's see. In this case, I'm going to ink the Tink because I'd like to keep the option open of us being able to play the LeFou or the Flynn. This does give our opponent the knowledge that we are playing Emerald Ruby. But I think it's more beneficial to keep this option open for next turn, depending on what we're facing, right? Amethyst. All right, another 4 drop. Well, now we can ink the LeFou and then play the Flynn and quest with this. So we didn't ink the Pongo because now we're on turn 2 and we're not going to be able to play the LeFou anytime soon, as we chose to play the Flynn. And then next turn it's Jasper, and then we have to ink the Pongo if we don't draw into anything that we can ink. And otherwise we'll probably ink the card that we draw so that we have a turn 3 and a turn 4 to play, right? Emerald, Amethyst. Now that's a problem. So ink the Goofy, play the Jasper, and I think we need to fight for board here, as Dr. Felicier is probably going to go into the Flynn Rider. So feels weird, but we're going to attack into the Olaf, as now we have 3 characters opposing his 1, and if he takes the trade here, then we can get rid of the Dr. Felicier. All right. In this case, Pongo is better because it has evasive. And then we are just going to take this straight. So in this case, we aren't actually racing, we're mostly fighting for board. Our hand is diminishing, so we need to start questing soon. And hopefully we can, because next turn, if we draw into an inkable card, we can Dragonfire the next threat. But our opponent's drawing cards, so there isn't going to be a next threat. And Jasper can take the Maleficent trade, or Sergeant Tips can take the Maleficent trade. Oh no, he actually sang that one, so there can still be a next thread, right? So hopefully we draw an inkable card, ink it, dragonfire the thread, take the trade, start questing. That's an inkable card. Dr. Felicia isn't really a threat though. And he's playing Emerald as well. So let's take this trade, save the damage, so that our Jasper doesn't get the damage, right? Then quest with the Jasper, make sure Felicia doesn't go questing. And then just pass. Save the Dragon's Fire for when we really need it. Cusco, all right. Okay, so we can ink think, play Genie, but then we don't gain any benefits from playing the Genie. So I'd rather just play the think right now, as they both quest for 2. And this is where we are going to have to start to race our opponent. Jasper can take this trade, quest with the Pongo, and play the think. All right. So unfortunately, we can't send the Genie back to hand, right? Because it'll just get played again. So we have to Dragonfire the Genie, which is fine. Then in this case, I'd rather ink the Pongo, because the Hans can quest for 3, just like the Cusco, and we do need to race, right? So then next turn, we can either play Genie to gain some momentum, or play the Hans. And right now, we are winning the race, which is nice. All right, so that Jasper is going to get sent back. Yeah, Genie is still the better play. We don't need the ink anymore because we have enough ink to play basically any card we draw from the top, right? We need to send the Jasper back, otherwise it's going to prevent us from questing, and we're going to prevent this Maleficent from questing. Ah, the Mother Gothel, that is going to be a problem. So now we need something like a LeFou to sneakily get the win. Well, we can play the Gaston and the Hans. We don't want to trade into the Cusco, so we'll just quest, and then next turn he's going to quest with the Mother Gothel. So we either need a removal or a LeFou to win, or just chuck our characters in. The Gaston can help with that, depending on whether the Gaston still lives or not. All right. Last card, the Hatter. So if I'm not mistaken, this would give us the win. I think this is better. All right, so basically we won that one because we fought so hard for board control. And because we had the board, it was easy to outpace our opponent when we started racing. And that's an important part when playing, well, any deck, actually. You need to know when to go for board, when to go for value, and when to start racing, right? And if you do that too early, well, you're probably going to lose. Okay, let's see. I want to keep one LeFou on hand. This one can go keep the 4-drop as well, I guess. Well, maybe just keep this because we got the... Well, look, let's remove this and remove the Think to see if we can draw into some removal. Unfortunately, we didn't, but that's okay. We'll probably draw into another 4-drop in the coming turns, so that's why we could remove the 4-drop, right? Playing against Amber. Well, that's just gonna be a Duke into a Duke. All right. Amber Sapphire. Oh, he doesn't have a 2-drop. Okay. So if we play our Flynn, then it's just going to die against the Stitch, right? I do think, though, that the Flynn is the better card to play. Save the Gaston for later on, because Sapphire has a lot of high health minions. Save the LeFou, because it can help us with some trades. So ink the Meg. And then play the Flynn. If he wants to take this straight, then that's fine. Otherwise, next turn we're going to quest with the Flynn, and he's probably banking on using the Stitch to get rid of the Flynn. But with the LeFou, we can restand the Flynn if we want to, right? So that he can't take that trade. I think in this instance we should start racing. So then it would be beneficial to play the cat. But I do like playing the LeFou to save the Flynn. But I don't think that's the right play. I think it's better to start racing. Get the cat in there. And now if he has another oh, he plays Bell. Okay. Rapunzel was the card. If he had another Rapunzel, he could have drawn one with the Stitch. But our opponent right now has board control. And I'm just thinking to see what can we do about that, right? I'm going to quest with the Duke and quest with the cat. Because we are still racing and his hand is diminishing. And now let's see, we're going to play the LeFou. And then restand the Duke, because the cat will take a trade. And now Duke can take this trade, right? So that's that. And then we're going to ink this one and play. That's too bad. We should have also played the Gaston, so it challenges the bell next turn. Why did we get rid of the Jasper? Because we're racing and the cat can quest for 2. Next turn, if we could have played the Gaston, we probably would have inked the cat and played the Goofy, and then the Gaston would stand there, right? Respecting the cat. And opponent also starts questing. All right. So let's see. We can straight up play the Goofy now. Take this hit. But we can also play 2 trees, which might be more beneficial. Well, no, let's play the Gaston and play the cat. I would rather keep the Jasper on hand for when our opponent reaches that 10 lore or 10 ink. Are we going to quest? Well, yes, we are going to quest with the LeFou, so our opponent can take this trade with the bell if he wants to, but then he's not questing, so that's fine. That was a misplay on my behalf. I forgot about the Rapunzel. Oof. Okay. So now we can take this trade, right? We can quest with this. And I'm more a fan of just playing these 2. Still keeping the Goofy on hand. Why? Because the Jasper can stop the Rapunzel. And the Flynn then also quests for 2. See, and our opponent now is playing those high health minions. And if we aren't careful, we are probably going to lose, as he will take over our board. So now we can just drop our hand. Let's see. He's probably going to take the trades with the Hades, so we want to prevent the Rapunzel. One off lethal, which is unfortunate. Goofy being evasive can really help. As long as my opponent doesn't draw into any more removal. That's too bad. He should target the Goofy with this. Yeah. Good choice. So something went wrong with my setup, and unfortunately we lost the audio for the rest of the games. So we're gonna do this voiceover style. This turn, drawing into a genie. I do want to play the genie because it'll help us. It's evasive, right? So we're first gonna quest with the Jasper, and we're gonna stop the Rapunzel again, as our opponent wouldn't want to attack with the Rapunzel. Quest with everything, but now the question is, what are we gonna send back to his hand? Hades will give him additional removal. Rapunzel will give him the benefit of drawing cards, and she's also targeted by Jasper. And then you got the Stitch, which will also draw him cards. So the best choice would be the Mickey, as it also is uninkable. Just so we can progress our board state and diminish his. The one lore might matter if he can get rid of our board, right? So now he needs to get rid of the genie and the flint. Didn't know why he actually took out the Jasper there. I think that was misplay. He needs to get rid of the flint and have removal for the genie. Well, and he probably got rid of the Jasper so he could draw 2 more cards, hoping for removal, which he didn't get. Cool, going second. And we actually have a pretty decent hand. I really like this hand. I am not going to change anything. Why? Because we have the Duke to play another Duke. We have a 2-drop, a 3-drop, a 4-drop, a 5-drop. So we have our entire curve, and we have a removal card, right? And now we draw into another Duke. So we have also an inkable card for next turn to play the Flynn. We're going up against Ruby. All right, still just Ruby. That's a better 4-drop. So now ink the Duke, play the Flynn, and just start questing. If he wants to take that trade, that's fine. All right. Amethyst. Okay, so Ruby Amethyst. Playing the Aladdin. Okay, so here we want a quest because it's Ruby Amethyst, right? Late game, they will blow us out of the water. So we're gonna ink the Think, as Hans is the better 4-drop because it can quest for 3. And then now, instead of playing the Jasper, we're gonna play the LeFou to restand the Flynn. And then the LeFou will be able to challenge the Aladdin if Aladdin quests. And we'll have saved our Flynn. Singing Friends, okay. So now we can take that trade. And playing a Friends. So this makes me think he has Be Prepared. And that's why he's just drawing cards, hoping for us to overcommit to the board. So we're just going to have to bait him into playing Be Prepared while being able to refill the board after he's done so, right? So Hans and Flynn together will quest for 5 every turn, which is enough of a threat for him to play the Be Prepared. So let's see if he's super greedy or if he's going to try to do something about it. And he does something about it. Dragon's Fire, that's the correct play. You gotta respect the 5 lore every turn, right? So now we get the cat. We don't want to ink because we do need to be able to refill the board. So just play the cat to make the Be Prepared as Be Prepared bait, right? Let's see what he does. Oh, another Dragon's Fire. All right. Well, I guess we'll just play the Jasper now then. And start questing. Next turn is the Be Prepared turn. So let's see if he has it. Plays an Aladdin. All right. That contests the board really well, actually. And in this case, I'd rather ink the Jasper, because I think the evasiveness of the pan is going to come in handy. And now we can either Dragonfire or Mother Knows Best. In this instance, I'd rather play the Mother Knows Best, because it's kind of a trap, right? I've sent this card back to your hand. It's the perfect card to contest my board. So are you going to play it again this turn, wasting another 5 ink, and then having us just remove it with the Dragon's Fire, right? Oh, or even better, send it back again. So let's see if he's willing to play another Aladdin this turn. Ah, and there's the Be Prepared. So he did have it. Okay, going for brooms. Sending back the Be Prepared. Oh, that's a good card. So let's see. He has one Aladdin in hand and another card. I think the Hans is the better card to play now. I don't want to ink the Peter Pan because we need it to get back on board. And if he now plays his Aladdin, we can Dragonfire it and then quest with the Hans. Ooh, that's a good card. Okay, so we need to take care of that, which will be the Dragonfire, but that means that we can't play anything or can't commit to the board at this moment. Next turn, he'll probably play his Aladdin, which will then be able to contest our board. So that's going to be a problem. Oh, the Flynn, that's a good one. See, and it was beneficial to keep the pan around because the Aladdin can't swing into it, right? So next turn we'll just quest with the pan and probably not with the Flynn. And only start questing with the Flynn when we actually need to, or when we can win the game with it, right? Opponent loading up the board, trying to see if he can win the race. And that's also a good card. Okay, let's see. Debating whether to play the Meg so that the Peter Pan can take out the Aladdin or not. But I think at this point we should just continue racing. This is lethal, so he needs to take care of at least one of my minions. And he needs to do so with a removal spell. Alright, so this makes me think he has another Be Prepared. Inking a Maui. Yeah. So that sucks. I hope that one card isn't a 3-drop that he can play now, because then he would also win back board. And if he doesn't, then, well, I guess we're in a good spot. He did catch up a lot but you know, he's still 9 off. We can play almost every card we get from the top of our deck, and our minions quest for a lot. So we'll see. Oh, Flynn. That's a good card. So we're not gonna play the Meg, because the Flynn will quest for 2 next turn, and then next turn if we play the Meg, then both will have lethal, right? Then both of them can quest for 3. Playing the Meg right now, if he has like another Be Prepared or whatever, we'll just lose all our cards, right? Hence, I keep it in hand. So now we're just going to load up the board, because he has to have a targetable removal for 2 then. And he has another Be Prepared. Ooh, that sucks. Okay, so we have to rebuild our board again and see if we can still take the win. But that magic mirror is going to be a problem, as he's going to draw 2 cards every turn. Alright, Peter Pan, Jasper. Now we have lethal on board, and that Rafiki is not enough to take care of our Jasper. Oh, that's a good draw though. That might have just given him the win. Yeah. Okay, well played, the Gaston. Start questing again. He can quest for 3, so we're still a bit faster than him. And then the Gaston can take care of the Aladdin. Friends, also a good draw. Alright, loading up the board again. Let's see, he has 4 on board, so this is lethal, but us taking care of the Aladdin will prevent that. Play the Goofy, which is a good draw. So now he has to have targetable removal for the Goofy specifically, otherwise we win. So what, another Be Prepared? A dragon, dragon's fire, dragon. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, so we lost. Well, you know, it is what it is. Right, I don't think we necessarily made any misplays. I actually don't think we made any misplays. We played to the best of our capabilities, but unfortunately, our opponent just had, well, he has the better cards in his deck, right? And that's the thing. If you're going up against these meta decks, these decks that cost $500, you can't make any misplays. You need to capitalize on your opponent's misplays, and you need that little bit of luck that your opponent doesn't draw his outs, his $20-30 dollar cards, right? So like to Be Prepared, stuff like that. But yeah, it is doable, as you can see. You do have a fighting chance. I think we set up lethal like 3 times, but he just got out of it. So be aware, it's going to be a struggle, but it can be done. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and until next time.